We'll go through this Andrew Wilson, Joe Rogan one a little bit. People said that this was really boring, so I might skip around a bit. I don't know.
Now, that's an all-you-can-eat buffet for a coyote in Nevada, these ground birds that are just these fat little ground birds, and they decimated the population. So you'll talk to these old deer hunters. Have you seen any pheasant? No, shut up. Shut up.
The interesting thing about that, though, is pheasant's an invasive species. That's not a natural North American species either. They brought those fuckers over. I mean, they are delicious, and it's fun to hunt them.
Well, they'd always just walk those train tracks, those old abandoned train tracks, you know. And they'd have the dogs pick up the pheasant, they'd shoot them from the track, dog would bring it up. It was like a Michigan pastime.
Yeah, the coyote thing's a real problem, because coyotes are now, they used to be a Western animal, and now they're in all 50 states. Yeah. Not only that, they're in virtually every city in America.
Well, they've been wiping them out in Michigan pretty good, in rural areas, Well, what they do now is they have the GPS trackers, put them on the dogs. Old boys will get in with AR-15s. Those dogs will run them for 200 miles, and then they finally take a shot, and they just will do that all winter long, man.
That's good, but it's hard to wipe them out, because what they do is, when you hear coyotes calling, it's like roll call. Like when they're letting, sometimes there's a lot of confusion to what they're doing. Some people think that they're letting the other coyotes know that they've killed something, that we have food, but it's also a roll call. And when one of the coyotes is missing, the females have more pups.
Really?
Like, some weird natural reaction. Also, their natural enemy is gray wolves, and when they evolved to when the gray wolves killed them, because the gray wolves don't breed with coyotes, but coyotes do breed with red wolves. That's why you have these like coy wolves on the East Coast. Because coyote is a wolf. It's a wolf. It's just a small wolf. And so their natural inclination is when they're getting chased, they move to a new area, and then they have even more pups. So that's how they've spread out through the entire country.
Wow.
So if you go back to like the turn of the century, like the 1900s, coyotes were exclusively a Western animal.
Yeah.
Now they're in New York City.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. They have them in Central Park. They have fucking
What?
coyotes running around Central Park. Some lady this morning posted on X a mountain lion in San Francisco sitting on a porch in the city of San Francisco, a big one, just sitting there. It's like...
just having a good time.
Well, that's just because California has the dumbest fucking laws when it comes to those things.
Yeah. Well, they have terrible gun laws, too.
They have terrible laws.
They have terrible laws.
They have terrible laws.
California.
Terrible everything.
Terrible politicians.
Everything.
Yeah. You know what's a shame, too?
Everything is
Santa
terrible.
Rosa. And that's the most beautiful area. The Napa Valley area is the most beautiful area on planet Earth. The weather's always perfect. It's January 15th. It might as well be July 15th. Yep. Right? It's always perfect. It's always gorgeous. And they fucked it all up.
They fucked it all up.
It's all fucked up.
And
terrible.
They fucked it up real bad, too.
Yep.
Oh, it's almost unfixable now, especially like San Francisco area.
Unfixable.
Like the whole Pacific
Beyond
Northwest
redemption.
is almost unfixable.
Yep.
It's like they double down and they keep going. Like Seattle now has a communist mayor who's been living with her parents.
New York, they all got communist mayors. Black Lives Matter their head organizers. They were communists, avowed communists. Like
until it came to buying property with Black Lives Matter money.
Yeah.
What's happening with that?
Well, then they're very much capitalistic.
How come they're not in trouble? I don't understand that. Like
Who's
they spend
they?
millions of dollars of that money on real estate.
Yeah.
Who?
There's only one UFC 325 this Saturday, and on draft bill on 9 in Connecticut called 8 days.
No idea. I have no idea why. Well, I don't know why the heads of many of these organizations aren't being rounded up and summarily arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, we're watching these. I've been covering the riots nonstop.
Is that a saying? Summarily arrested? Like I've heard summarily executed, which I think is like judge, jury, execution. Like you basically round somebody up and you decide they're guilty of a thing and then you execute them. Summarily arrested? Okay. Maybe some people use that term. I don't know.
I'm sorry, protests. The completely organic protests, which are totally organic.
All fake, by the way.
It's been interesting to watch. I was watching one the other day.
LOL.
We were live, and it was Don Lemon.
Yeah.
He had showed up in Minnesota. And the first thing Don Lemon does, right? I hate Don Lemon, by the way. But
He
the first thing
is one
he
of
does,
the dumbest motherfuckers that has ever gotten on television.
He's terrible.
Absolutely
First thing he does, he drives up in his car. He's in the back seat, and he jumps out of the car, and he has a shit-eating lemon smile on his face, and he runs over with Starbucks to these people, and he's like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And then he jumps back in the car.
What a fucking... Did Don Lemon actually fucking do that? We brought people coffee? What a disgusting fucking reporter guy. Oh, God. What a fucking loser. Did he actually? Ugh.
And they drive off. Now, here's what's interesting about this. He comes back, and he's in there with the protesters, you know what I mean? And he's interviewing them. Most of the protesters say, we're coming from out of town. We're from this state. I'm from 2 states away. I'm from 3 states away.
Paid,
for
by
this
the way.
organic protest. Well, the cops, what they start doing, they have these guardrails on the sidewalk in front of the ICE facility. And there's gaps inside of that barrier. And so they pull their police cruisers in just to fill those gaps so that they stay behind the barrier.
Yeah.
And Lemon's like, why would they do that? Why would they keep us compressed, behind this barrier? And I'm thinking, because you just stopped your car in the middle of the street to run across the road and give these guys Starbucks, you idiot.
Jesus,
they want to keep the roadway clear so that they can get their people in and out. You literally stopped your car in the middle of the road, ran across the street to give these people Starbucks, and then got back in your car. And you're like, why is it that they're trying to keep us from getting into the road? You know, I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's a fucking
I just couldn't
epic.
believe it. I was like, what?
It's amazing when these people that are so smug, they're protected by a large organization, by CNN.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get fired.
They're so smug because they're protected. They're so protected. How many people were pardoned by Trump again on the Gen 6 stuff? They're so protected, right? Remember when Biden told the FCC commissioner to get rid of the Fox News hosts because he didn't like their coverage for Jimmy Kimmel or whatever? Or am I mixing that up with Trump again? Yeah, so protected. These guys would never survive a day. None of these guys have any tenacity at all, bro. These are just the weakest men. Oh my God.
and then they're basically like a dog, like Carl, getting released into the woods, and then they have to fend for themselves. And you see them in the world of podcasting where you don't have anybody writing things for you, and you have to express your own opinions. You're like, oh, this is the real you.
It turns out you're a moron.
Huh. Can we think of anybody similar where that's happened? Where they were maybe the largest they were the largest pundit in the United States of America, and then as soon as they got cut loose to go rogue, they're in fucking Moscow doing advertisements because Russians have groceries.
Well, I didn't know. Whoa. The whole time, Matt, he's thinking the whole time, I never thought I'd be an entertainer. I didn't think I'd do anything with podcast. Never in a million years. I never would have thought that.
You were, what were you, an engineer or a robotics
mechanic, yeah.
A robotics mechanic?
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that?
Well, I was a gunsmith for years. And there's no real applicable skills outside of that for anything, actually. It doesn't really carry over in anything. It's really its own thing. Bluing, things like that, it just doesn't carry over. A friend of mine said, hey, look, because I told him, I was like, I need a job. I'm not making it. What do you think? He's like, you should apply to be an industrial mechanic. And I was like, I don't know much about it. He's like, well, just go apply. So I did, took an aptitude test. And so the guy was like, well, I want to hire you at a level 3, which was high. It was like mid-range. It wasn't the highest, wasn't the lowest. And I was like, damn, okay. What's the pay? It was like 30 an hour. That to me was life-changing. So I took the job, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but they trained me up well. And then there were some robots on the floor. I started working on those, and then from there they trained me in robotics. And so it was all done on site.
Like what kind of automation? Like car assembly?
Automation, and it was all food related.
Food related.
Mm-hmm. All food robots. So we weren't dealing with Johnny Five. We were dealing with like vacuum systems and ovens and various robots which were associated with those. Like for instance, there was a packaging machine that would all it would do is form boxes. That's all it did. That's it. But it would form 1,000 boxes a minute. And it was a giant robot and it had a huge sequence of functions on it. When people think robot, they always think humanoid, but almost no robot is in any way humanoid at all.
Right.
That's just not what they're for.
It is weird, right? That we think of robots as like movie robots. We think of iRobot.
Yeah, if you came across a robot in a factory, you would have no idea it was a robot. You'd be like, what the hell was that?
So how did you go from that to debating?
What does that mean? I didn't know that was I thought there was a guy inside that arm that was moving things back and forth. You would know that's a robot? What is he? What? I don't know. Okay.
People online.
COVID. So the lockdowns happened.
Does he think that? I didn't know that was a robot. I thought that was magic. What is that? What is that? What are we envisioning there? Oh, bro. Okay.
And I was laid off. All the food plants in Michigan were shut down. I didn't come from a political background. There's no famous people in my family. There's just none of that. And so I feel like the grounding's always there because, even from the family, you get the call, like, from my brother, for instance, like, he's been calling me I don't know if he can say the F slur here, so I won't, but he's been been like the phone call since I was 15. What are you doing? Has not changed. Good. It has not changed. It's 42. He's a happy birthday.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I remember you were having a conversation, I think it was on Piers Morgan, who is the best cat wrangler in the business. That's what he does. He cat wrangles.
Yeah, I just talked to him briefly.
Is he okay?
On it. Well, that's what I asked him. I sent him a DM and I was like, hey,
people don't know. He fell.
Yeah, he fell.
And really fucked himself
up. And it was the hip.
Yeah.
And at his age, the hip. You don't want to, nothing with the hip. Yeah. Every time I see anybody who's 60s, they get the hip injury. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. I think they think your lifespan at post-hip surgery is like 10 years.
Yeah, it's right. And
he'll probably be better than that.
He will. And I think he's mobile.
That's good.
He's mobile.
Well, they're really good at hip replacements now.
I was like, what's, are you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm doing okay. And I was like, don't fuck around with the hips, dude.
It's crazy that he had to have a hip replacement. Like, how bad was that fall?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the details of it were, but...
I felt like a sack of spuds, he wrote. Wound up needing a new hip after fracturing the neck of his femur and is recovering from surgery. In addition to being on crutches for 6 weeks, he won't be allowed to take any long-haul flights for at least 12 weeks. He tripped on a small step inside of a London restaurant. Wow.
He was drunk.
He could have been a little fired up.
A little drunk.
Well, he's also, not the most fit or agile guy in the world.
True. Yeah.
He's only 2 years older than me.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not crazy?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. Some people don't take care of themselves.
Yeah, he got the crack. Yeah, I got to quit these. But yeah, he got the crack on the hip, and I was like, man.
Do you think that American spirits are better than Marlboros for you?
Probably.
Yeah.
But they taste like shit.
Do they?
Oh,
Is there
terrible.
a difference?
Yeah.
You really like the Marlboro taste?
Yeah,
you don't
do.
think you could get used to American
I
spirits?
think I could. I've been trying the cigarellos. Those have been helpful. Like the little mini cigarette cigars.
Oh, yeah. Ron White used to...
I saw a debate with Andrew a few years ago on automation and immigration. What was your impression of him then, and how has it evolved over these years? What tips do you give to someone debating Andrew now? Andrew is what I would call like the epitome of like debate pervertry. He's similar to kind of the... Fuck, I don't want to make disfavorable comparisons to the Ask Yourself Discord server, but like he's very... Like, if he thinks he's got a good point, he'll debate on substance. But if he doesn't have a good point or if he's lost the main point, then he will just endlessly nitpick on, like, bad philosophical grounds. And that's, like, his bread and butter, basically. He's trying to own people on... Can we not? Please? Certainly you have somebody better to shoot at. Thank you. It's just, it's endlessly pedantic and not good.
Smoke those.
Yeah.
He just quit totally. He went to a hypnotist, quit instantaneously. But those are loaded with nicotine, like way more nicotine than a cigarette. He was smoking those.
Yeah, good.
What are those little tins? We have those. What are those tins, Jamie? Do you know what they are? It's like a famous cigar company sells tins of these little tiny cigars, and it's great if you don't have the time to smoke this. Like you get out of a flight, you just want to have a small. But he inhales these motherfuckers like a cigarette.
That's brutal, dude. That'll do you in, and then washes it down with whiskey.
Well, he doesn't drink anymore.
No.
He quit drinking.
No.
Yeah, I think he went.
That was always in his bit, though. He was always up there smoking and drinking. I always thought, I love that.
Do I need any? No, I'm good. I just collected my scrap. Ooh, we're in the mega friendly queues. These guys are just offering shit up for free.
Well, he did it. He did it till the wheels fell off, and then the drinking was the big one. You know, he went to a doctor, and the doctor's like, "You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like your liver is not in good shape. Like if you back off now, you'll probably live. If you don't, you're not. You got like a few years left."
Well, and alcoholics too. They have it. I don't know if he was one or not. He might have just been like a heavy social drinker, but like real alcoholics, that's no way to live.
No.
I mean, they stink. They're like, I mean, kind of everything about a real alcoholic is just they look completely unwell. They're just kind of mangled, you know?
Yeah.
Most people with substance use disorders, definitely have these issues. Yep, that's true.
It's a weird disease too. In that addiction is one that you can't quit. You can't just cold turkey.
Yeah, you'll die.
Yeah.
There's
only a couple of things that'll just kill you if you quit right away.
Yeah.
And alcohol is one of them, which is really crazy because it gets integrated into your biological system where you need it to stay alive. Your body's like, okay, we're going to use this for fuel. We're going to use this to function.
Yeah, they've been
Even though
weaning
it's
people
poison.
off alcohol with beer for centuries.
Is that what they use? Beer?
Yeah, they use beer. They would just
Interesting.
go, okay, well, it was pretty common to drink beer and ale with dinner. You know?
Right.
They just wean you off with beer.
That makes sense.
They knew hundreds of years ago, books on how alcohol, what are they, consumption or whatever they called it, it killed you if you just quit if you're an alcoholic. And so they wean you off with beer.
Wonder when they started making hard liquor. Because you would imagine like fermented things like wine and beer were like the first things that people consume.
I think it's been around for several thousand years.
I wonder like how they figured it out.
I mean, the biggest distributor in Europe of wine was the Catholic Church.
Well, wine has certainly been around forever. But like, what about hard liquor? Jamie, put that into our sponsor, Perplexity. When was the first known? I mean, we don't really know because there's so much weird shit about history. But like, what was the first in like documented hard liquor, like whiskey, vodka?
The means are. The ends are that's all they care about, right? The means to get there, totally irrelevant to them. From their view, though, that makes a sick sort of sense. They believe that they're fighting against Nazis.
Right.
Literal Nazis.
Right.
So if you believe that you're in a war with literal Nazis, what wouldn't you do to complete that war? What means wouldn't you go to? What means?
As opposed to you guys who think that you're fighting against people who want to forcibly trans all of your kids and who are all communists and socialists and who want Sharia law and who are eating the cats and the dogs and who are facilitating mass migration to your country and everything. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sabotage would you not do? What
course.
cars would you not blow up?
Right.
What cops would you not eliminate in order to stop the rise of the new Hitler?
Right.
And it's like, and they're expending their political capital on that message, and that message has a lot of influence on people.
Yeah. It also there's so many people that are getting attention by feeding into the rhetoric. There's so many people that are making viral clips of them threatening, like menacing, like these weird dorky liberal guys, like these guys that you would think of pacifists are literally calling for violence. I got one of them because it's like the most unlikely guy. Like you see this guy doing this, like, hey buddy, like what are you saying?
Who's following you into battle?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it because it's the way he says it too is so like he's watched too many fucking TV shows. This guy, because it's the terminology that he uses that is actually kind of funny. If it wasn't so scary, put this on real quick, sure. Because it's so. You see this guy's doughy face and his understanding of real violence. Listen to this.
When combat starts, we all roll initiative. I'm going to say that again, and everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say this. When combat starts, we all roll initiative.
I don't even know if that was
laugh.
serious or not, but
Because it's kind of fucking serious because they're inciting violence and they're calling for insurrection. They're calling for people to take to the streets and start violence. But that guy, like, what? Like,
You're not going to roll initiative?
What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, I think it just means we all go.
Right.
When violence starts, we all go.
Dungeons and Dragons reference.
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
The tweet says Dungeons and Dragons in it. I don't even know.
Oh
It
God.
says Dungeons and Dragons Nerds Means Business. I think.
Oh. So
he's doing-
do a search on that. Does roll initiative? Is that a part of Dungeons and Dragons? Roll that because I only know of Dungeons and Dragons from Stranger
So
Things.
does his AR do 2d6 damage? It's like,
But it's just the menacing way that he stares.
I like how Andrew here had to pretend that he didn't know that was a D&D reference because he doesn't want to seem not cool, but he clearly does if he uses the term 2d6 afterwards. What a fucking loser. Nothing in my mind communicates more to me that you are a fucking loser than when you are embarrassed about the things that you enjoy or your hobbies. Okay? Like, I'm outright If I'm like talking to a girl, I'll talk all about the lolicon. I'm just kidding. Video games, just kidding. When you know that this person is like a massive fan of, you know, whatever genre, whatever fucking anime, video games, whatever, and they're with some friends and some guy's like, yeah, I don't know how people play video games. Like, yeah, those guys are losers. Like, what are they playing, Pac-Man and Mario on their Game Boy or whatever? And this guy like is grinding like 6 hours a night, 16 hours Saturday, Sunday on video games. Like, bro, come on.
The camera. Okay, here it
Turn in
is.
combat.
Rolling for initiative determines the turn order in combat. Each player and monster rolls a 20-sided die and adds their dexterity modifier. Oh God! But I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's like it's a lot of it's cosplay.
It does sound like he is saying though. We all go there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. That's what he's saying. And it's also it gives meaning to people whose lives.
And they don't even understand the fucking tweet, right? When he says the combat starts, you all roll initiative, right? It's like if the fighting starts, everybody's going to be involved. That's the point. It affects all of you, right? It's like a meme. I mean, it's a gamer D&D reference, but it's like you always know you're fucked when you're talking to some NPC or you don't think anything matters, and then somebody's like, oh, okay, I want to open the chest, and then the DM is like, all of you roll initiative. You're like, oh fuck, this dumb motherfucker, this stupid motherfucker.
Not have a lot of meaning, right? Like all of a sudden you're a part of a greater cause. You're a part of a very important movement.
Yeah, you're stopping Nazis.
Yeah, you're stopping Nazis, and it's relatively safe from the comfort of your own home, staring at your phone on TikTok.
Sure.
And you get all excited about it, and you cheer. And these are the same people that cheered when Charlie Kirk got shot for just talking. Like that was fine, but
It was just
this one is
talking,
not
bro.
good. It's all like
He was just talking, bro. Isn't that guy just talking? Aren't they just talking? So some talking good and some talking's not good, or what?
They'll kill more commentators. They can get away with it happily. I mean, part of that whole signal chat that's dangerous that people aren't talking about. That's probably the most dangerous aspect of it. And I can't prove this, but it's been my experience that left-wing communities and left-wing groups, especially online communities and online groups,
coded language,
really pander to the mentally ill in a big way. Really pander to them.
Really? So the people who think that a pizza shop was hosting international gatherings for pedophiles, and that aliens and Italian spy satellites and the fucking corpse of Hugo Chavez are trying to rig our elections, those people are not the ones that are pandering to the mentally ill. It's because of trans people. Oh shit, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's because of the trans. That's what he's gonna say. Because of trans people. My bad.
And I think that it's a form of weaponization. They want to attract the extremely mentally ill into these communities, and it helps with actually what is radicalization.
The problem is that there are segments of the left where Andrew's not wrong, but the problem is all those people don't even fucking vote. Because all the mentally ill people go to the ultra progressives, or now more likely just the fucking tankies.
And they play on the fact that they're mentally ill in order to do this.
Well, this is Antifa, right? Like this is why
it's not just Antifa. It goes beyond that.
Sure.
Like if you go to some,
I also like the different worlds, the different realities that we live in. Like, bruh, where the like? I feel like you could actually ask conservatives, like when you leave the house, like what are you doing? It's like, well, first I look around to make sure Antifa is not outside. Like, what? Where the fuck is Antifa? What the fuck are you talking? When is the last time there's been a big Antifa fucking anything? Hello? Antifa hasn't been... It's equally cringe when I see... it doesn't happen as much anymore, but every now and then you'd see like a writer for the Washington Post, New York Times, or whatever, they'll refer to somebody as like, this is like an alt-right commentator or whatever, in like 2024 or whatever. I'm like, oh, who the fuck is alt-right? Nobody uses this anymore. This is not like a contemporaneous term that you would use to describe anybody's political beliefs. Why the fuck are you saying this? It's so cringe.
These TikTokers communities, you go to some of the online political pundits communities who are far left, okay? These people who are in there are Fruit Loops, man.
Yeah.
They are lunatics. And they're pandered to. They're pandered to. Oh, okay, you can't say this to them. That's ableist. You can't tell them this is, you're a weirdo because that's...
Like, which community do you think has more flat earthers? Or more 6,000-year-old young earth creationists? Or people who are just not even critical of the mRNA vax or vax mandates, but are just full-on anti-vaccine? Or... how many people on the left, have there been any lately? Maybe there have been. How many people on the left are dying because they're so mind that they're doing retarded shit when they have cancer? Like how many Scott Adams are there on the left? We used to have some of these crazies, but I think the right got so good at pandering to the mentally ill, they took them. They took a lot of our crazy people, and now they're part of the right. Like the anti-vaxxers used to be on the left. They used to be the crazy naturalists and all that shit. Now when I hear people talking about fucking seed oils and shit, it's always going to be a fucking Trump voter.
Me, you can't, and not only they pander to, but I think that that's the source of the weapon. If it's the case that these people don't care about death, they don't care. Like, oh, the outcome's going to be death. That guy who shot at the ICE agents not too long ago. Remember, he was on top of the roof. He was shooting across with, I think, a Mauser rifle, and they dusted him. They killed him, or he shot himself.
Did we actually get information on this guy? Was it confirmed that this guy was actually trying to kill ICE people, and he just fucked up and happened to hit 3 illegal immigrants? Did we get more information on that, or?
I don't remember which.
When was this?
This was a few months back.
I don't know about this one, I don't think.
No, there was a guy.
Joe Rogan must have heard. He's just forgetting.
He was
just how callous I've become.
Yeah, he was taking shots at, I believe it was ICE agents in front of the ICE facility.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was using, I believe he was using like a Mauser rifle or something.
Yeah, okay, now I remember.
And early on with the Charlie Kirk thing, they were actually making these connections because he had used a Mauser as well, right, to shoot Charlie Kirk. That was so people were making those early connections. Wait, is this a sequence of events? Does the Mauser mean something here? Does that particular rifle have special meaning? You know how people are online.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Like it's not you. Like you're not describing yourself.
They're dying martyrs. They don't care. And it's really easy to weaponize mentally ill people that way because they don't care. These are the same people who have the high suicide rates for a reason because they're already mentally ill, like the Troons and others, which many of them you find are connected to trans people almost every time.
Also, SSRIs.
Yep.
This is the other problem, is that how many of these people are on these psychiatric medications that violent...
The SSRIs. All of those murderers on antidepressants. True.
Ideation is a part of the side effects of these these psychiatric drugs. There's a lot of people that have psychotic thoughts when they get on some of these different SSRIs and different psychiatric medications. So you've got people that are already fucked up mentally, and then you've got them on these medications that cause them to do all kinds of crazy things.
And aren't women taking much more in the way of SSRI pills than men are? And who do we see is on the bullhorns and loudspeakers at most of these events? It's women.
Well,
I like how we switched from murderers and assassins to bullhorns and loudspeakers. This is why I never trust a man when he talks about who are the people committing those violence or whatever. It will be anything besides saying that if it's white or male, they never mention it, right? Like all the shooters that they just mentioned. Notice how all of them were white? You never heard that, right? And then we were just talking about violence. Now we're talking about women on SSRIs. Well, isn't it crazy? Oh, look at all the shooters. Weren't they? Wait. Oh shit. Not the shooters. The people on the loudspeakers. Like, excuse me. What about the fact that all the shooters were men? Right? All of them were too, because that one trans person you consider a man as well. So, but nothing to say about that, right? What about the fact that a lot of these people were young and mega online mindfucked? Nobody. I don't think I heard anybody. Maybe a couple people mention that. Nobody seemed to give a fuck that. Isn't it kind of weird? You're Tyler Robinson's, you're that Antifa person, that these guys seem like crazy schizo online people. Maybe? Isn't that kind of weird? And they're young? That's kind of crazy, right? But
liberal women,
particularly
like
liberal women. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the statistics, but I
very lopsided.
Save them because they're kind of nutty. What's interesting is the least mentally ill in terms of numbers is conservative men. Conservative men, I think it's like...
Is it normal?
I think, okay.
Because they don't go to because they don't go to the hospital. They just sit there in their homes and die of diabetes. Oh my God.
Young liberal women, 56% report a mental health diagnosis.
Wow.
Young moderate women, 18-29, 28%. Young conservative women, 27%, only slightly less. So for men, it is 34% of all liberal men. 34%. So a third of all liberal men are mentally ill, 22% of moderate men, and 16% of conservative men.
Yeah, but do you know what the lunatics argue?
What?
Bring that up. These lunatics
that they want to go to the hospital.
The conservative men are just as mentally ill. It's just undiagnosed because there's a stigma in conservative communities about going to get your mental illness diagnosed. And I always point out, and I think this is an interesting way to point this out, like, maybe they're not going to get diagnosed because they don't have a problem. Did you ever think of that?
It's possible it's undiagnosed, because I think that is accurate, though, that there is a stigma about mental health and therapy and things along those lines in conservative... I mean, if you want to, like...
I agree, but I also think that what happens is...
it's so funny, because we were having a different conversation about do you think there's a stigma around vets being able to get diagnosed for issues related to war or combat or whatever else? All of a sudden we would be the most something. Oh yeah, they're doing the thing that feminists say they do, that they get so fucking mad that feminists say they do. Whenever feminists are like, oh no, feminism cares about men too, because we think that the patriarchy also oppresses men's ability to have mental health stuff or whatever. But but then when they're talking about an issue from another perspective, actually no, that never happens. No, actually men don't actually have these mental health problems. It's all liberal bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. But if you were to talk about veterans or whatever else, now the thing would shift a lot. Or the fact that here are all of these men that are these young men that are having these issues, and nobody wants to talk about their issues. Nobody wants to talk about their depression. That's why Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate are so important. But the position is it completely changes just based on the topic, the perspective they'll have on it.
When you talk things along those lines in conservative, if you want to,
I agree, but I also think that what happens is when you're talking, especially,
I also say this. I agree, and because Joe Rogan also just kind of completely contradicted him. He's like, oh, I agree, yeah. I kind of think that maybe all the men are just mentally healthy. And Joe Rogan's like, well, I think there are issues there. And he's like, yeah, I agree. And then it's like, okay, so you're too scared to debate him. He is also, by the way, I would be surprised if they have a significant disagreement anywhere in here, because he's so cucked and they have to agree on everything.
About the voodoo that is psychology, and it is voodoo.
It is voodoo.
I have very little respect for psychology.
Right.
I don't even consider it science. I consider that there's scientific methods used for data gathering, but I don't consider psychology a science.
And that's psychology. Psychiatry gets even weirder because then you start adding medication.
Wow.
You're not just talking about therapy.
It's all voodoo, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
I think that men
True.
often, especially conservative men, get as much out of their close relationships with friends and family as they would going to a psychologist. In other words, I think just having.
Oh, that's so crazy, huh? If you have a bunch of healthy relationships in your real life, you would get just as much out of that. Oh, really? That's crazy. Like, personally, I feel the same way about incels. Like, I think that you get just as much out of having like a happy, healthy, loving relationship with a woman who accepts you for who you are as you would, I guess, like doing whatever crazy shit incels are going to, right? No fucking shit, Sherlock fucking Holmes. Jesus Christ. If you have happy, healthy friends and your life is like incredibly well adjusted and isn't deviating and skewing hardcore off the norm in a way that's unhealthy, yeah, no shit. You don't need to go to a fucking psychiatrist, you fucking moron.
Somebody to talk to who's a close friend who's intricately familiar with your situation probably gives you more value than going to a complete stranger who has.
I also hate when people give these statements that everybody agrees with, that everybody, even on the science side, that all of them would fucking agree with, right? Like if you were to ask any psychiatrist or psychologist, what do you think is better, for me to go and get a therapist or for me to have a group of friends that's very supportive of me, is aware of my situation and can give me good feedback on everything going on, knowing they have my best interest at heart and I don't have to actually like pay the money for it and it's a genuine connection? Well, I think you should actually get some Prozac. Like,
learned manipulation techniques. That's what they learn, essentially, is manipulation techniques. I think there's more value there. And so I think that the stigma which exists there, it doesn't exist because it's like you're not manly, which is how they try to frame it. I think the stigma exists there because so many conservative men go, well, I tried that shit and it was nonsense. I tried it and it sucked. I tried it and it was worth it. I went to marriage counseling, did nothing. Sided with the wife, right? I went for this issue, did nothing.
I like how that's the example. I tried marriage counseling and they sided against me, so I knew it was bullshit. What if, God. We should just watch the HDR video.
Thing. But when I went out and had some beers with my friends, that actually helped relieve.
Because they all took my side. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like a fucking spoiled girl right now, spoiled white girl. I tried talking to the person and they didn't agree with me at all. But then when I went up with my girls and they all said, yeah, fuck that guy. They all agree with me. Those were my girls right there. Hell yeah. Yes, queen.
Some of these issues.
I think the problem with that is there's a lot of guys who don't have good friends, you know?
Wow. Oh, wow. You don't say.
And you don't have someone that you can count on, unfortunately.
No shit.
There's a lot of men out there that
really
are lost.
I agree, but I think that the conservative men seem like they have,
I agree.
have closer longevity with friends than progressives.
Than any progressives. Really? Yeah? You really think so?
Yes, and they don't abandon them when they change their opinions on things.
Right.
So here's the self-reported data. From 2022 survey analysis found that 51% of conservatives report excellent mental health compared to 20% of liberals. That's a big difference.
Huge.
It's a giant difference.
I don't think stigma could account for that.
No, it can't. It's like
not.
it's not just stigma. It's also like what does it mean to be conservative? Does it mean taking account for your own actions, discipline, hard work ethic? All those things are actually good for your mental health. Like pulling yourself up and getting back to work and doing things.
I think now, and I think maybe it always should have been framed this way. I think now for the label of conservative to apply, we really kind of start with religious foundationalism. That's what is fast becoming the delineation.
Right. Having the framework.
Right?
Yeah.
And the religious framework is almost instantly going to put you in that, moving towards that conservative camp almost every single time. And I think that that's a necessary component now. If we're trying to make these political delineations, it becomes tough. What's a Republican or neocon versus a conservative versus this versus that? It comes down to foundationalism, a framework, like you were just saying, in the framework of Christianity, Christian ethics, huge delineation point between the right and the left, who rejects that for harm principles, utilitarianism, and various other sorts of frameworks.
Yeah, and they'll also point to, what Christianity has done throughout history and the amount of harm that it's caused. But it's kind of like every power structure throughout history you could point to in that way.
Well, it was what was there.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, the Catholic Church gets a lot of shit for this. Well, look at all the horrible things that the Catholic Church did. And it's like, well, the Catholic Church was the whole known world once.
Right.
All of Europe was the Catholic Church. Not, like all of it was.
Right.
You can't have organizations which span whole nations and countries.
They know a little bit of bad.
Ethnicities, cultures, integrate themselves into it and not have corruption. That I don't care what's
like, no shit, you fucking retard. But that's a point against you. If you're saying, here's the thing that's so special, that guides our principles, it guides our life, it makes everything better. And I was like, but didn't a lot of the same shit happen under the Catholic Church than would under any other government? Well, of course, because it was like any other government. Because, of course, anytime you get a huge thing like that, it's going to be like every other thing. Oh, well, because I thought you were just arguing that was going to be extra special and better than every other thing. But now it sounds like you're making an excuse saying, well, of course it's going to be like every other thing. No shit, fucking...
system it is. Pointing to it and saying it's because they were Catholic. That's where it becomes absurd.
Right.
They were corrupt. There was corruption. But
because
that's
they're
not
human.
because they're human, not because they're Catholic.
Right. One of the things that I always try to point out to people, they go, why do you go to church? Like, because when I was younger, I was very cynical about religion, and then I've got older. One of the things that I always say is, if there was a pill that could make you as nice as the people that I go to church with, everybody would be on it. They are the nicest fucking people you'll ever encounter. When we leave the church parking lot,
kind?
They're kind.
Yeah, they're kind.
Kind and nice. They're all the above. They're like very friendly, happy people. But when you leave the church parking lot, or even when you're entering, they're everybody lets everybody in. It's like no one rushes ahead. It's like you go ahead and then you go ahead. It's like the most self-organized, most charitable.
Yeah, because it's fucking church. It's boring as fuck, bro. And you're not going to cut somebody off or be crazy in the parking lot when you might be sitting next to this person in a pew when you get inside. You see these same fucking people every week. No shit, Sherlock fucking Holmes. Like, what do you mean?
Way of exiting a parking lot I've ever experienced in my life. The opposite of a concert. You go to a great concert, everybody's like fucking on everybody's bumper, trying to weasel in, people are honking, fuck you. In church, it's like one person goes, another person goes, no, you go, wave, and then everybody's fine and everybody's happy. It's like, if you could take a pill that could do that to you, if therapy could do that to you, we should all be on therapy. We should all take that pill.
Philosophy can do that for you, because the phenomenon that you're talking about is the me philosophy. And so you're going to church, it's not all about you.
Right.
And that's why you have those types of interactions with people. Wait, you go to a concert, that's for you. That's for me, not for these strangers. I'm going there because I want to be entertained. That's for me. You go to church, it's not for you.
Right.
And the thing is it's the kind of material.
Got your back.
Oh my god. Oh, well, thanks, buddy. Oh my god. I just got wrecked. Okay. Well, now I'm in the real friendly lobbies. That's okay. I just need to spam this account to 75. Okay.
View, the materialistic view of pure materialism, reduces always to me. Me. Because what else can there be?
Right.
There's just me and the material I engage with. There's nothing outside of that. So why engage as though there's something outside of that? That doesn't just lead to nihilism, but it's the beginning stages of understanding the distinction between religious foundationalism and basically everything else. The reduction doesn't come down to me. And that's why those interactions seem so much better, because people are thinking about you.
Right.
It's like, what a concept. Imagine a world where people think about somebody besides themselves.
And they can think about everybody as a part of a community.
And you can't do that
community that you care about
without religion, guys, by the way.
And
then you go, why is mental health rate so much better in these communities? It's like, well, isn't it interesting how much they think about other people than just themselves, and duties to those people instead of just me.
They're the kindest people you're ever going to come across.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of value in that. I think the people that are cynical about that, because they don't want to believe in fairy tales, or they don't want to be stupid, they don't want to get duped by, look, there's a foundation to that. If you just forget about some of the stuff that's in the Bible that, it gets weird when you get old. Like, you go back into the old stuff, because for sure, human beings had some sort of an influence on what was written down and what wasn't written down. But you get just to the teachings of Christ, I can't find any faults in it. Like, it's all about being kind. It's all about this idea that we're all in this together and that you're supposed to lift each other up and look after each other. There's no faults in it. It's not like you have to kill the non-believers. It's not like you get to rape and pillage for the non-believers and the infidels must die. There's none of that.
That's why Christians believe in objective truth. That there must be objective truth, because otherwise, why is most of the world following this as though it's objective truth? We seem to be leaning towards this as though...
My favorite thing about talking about religion with Christians, it has absolutely nothing to do with whatever the fuck your policy positions are. Like, I'm curious. Let's take this conversation a little bit further. How do we feel like the teachings of Christ, and how do we feel like our Catholic or Christian ideology informs our political beliefs? It always seems like they're so separate.
This must be the thing which is objectively real and objectively true, and a thing which we can point to that is. Because when people are introduced to it, like you just said, it's really hard and difficult to find fault in it. It's not just that. It's interesting. If we reverse it, if we say, what could I do that actually would be the best for me, it would still be that.
Yeah.
Which is the funniest part of the whole thing. It's like, both ways it works for you, even if it's not all about you, or it works for you, even if it is all about you. It's still going to be the better message out of the two.
It's definitely a better framework for living your life. And there's a lot of people that just reject that think of themselves as intelligent. They think of themselves as intelligent and well-read and educated.
I'm too smart for that.
Yeah, I'm too smart for that.
Too smart for all that.
I'm an atheist. Yeah. Any atheist needs to take 8 grams of mushrooms. Just
do a little DMT.
Do a little DMT, and you're like, oh, I don't know anything. You think you know things. You don't know a fucking thing. You just know what you've experienced. And I think that the world is better off if people have a great moral and ethical framework. I think morals and ethics and being kind.
Wow. That's crazy. Another thing that I hate when I listen to... this sounds pretentious as fuck. But it's so boring listening to people talk about, like, morals or religions and shit. Especially Joe Rogan. What is this, like 20,000 episodes deep into this podcast? And it sounds like two kind of like teenagers exploring the topic for the first time, like on weed or whatever. They're like, bro, I just think, like, the world is, like, better if everybody's, like, moral. And it's like, bro, that's actually so fucking true. And it's like, I think if you're nice to people... I think in a way it even like comes back around to you. So it's like even better if you're selfish. Like, oh, bro. Holy shit, really? Yeah. I think that like, I know this is like epic and very daring, but like, I feel like religion gives some value, even if you're not religious. It's like, oh, really, bro? Shit. Like, okay. Does anyone else love Jesus? I know I do. Can I get some W's for Jesus in the chat, please?